Objective 3, write equations based off the graph of the function. I'm going to do an example on the practice that I've given you. All right, so I'm going to go through number 1 here. And your goal in this objective is, if you're given a graph, like number 1 is, you're given an image of a quadratic function, the parabola, can you write the equation in vertex form? All right, so the first step, if I was going to do this, is to identify the vertex. So I'll write, first step is to identify vertex. So in this case, I go over to 4 up to 3. The vertex is at, in this case, the vertex is at 4, 3. All right, done with that. Second step is to identify the step pattern. So I'll put find step pattern. Because again, that will tell us the A term. So find step pattern, and that'll tell us the A term. All right. If you remember, now I should have put this first. The formula for a vertex in the vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So we need to identify the h value, the k value, and the a value. And that's the process we're taking right now. So the second is to do that. So in order to find the step pattern, I go back to my vertex up here. I go over 1 and I go down 1, 2. There's the dot right there. Over 1, down 1, 2. It crosses right there. So far for this process, it's over 1, down 2. All right. Then I go over 1, then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same thing over here. Over 1, down 6. So the next step pattern is over 1, down 6. All right, and if I were to continue, it would repeat the process. If you remember from your previous videos, the original step pattern was over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3, over 1, up 5. Now in this case, it's over 1, down. Down means that the A term is negative. It's going down. You should be able to see that just based off the picture over here too. It's opening downwards, so your equation should be negative. So the A term is negative. Now, in reference to this, the first one is usually over 1, up 1. This one is over 1, down 2. So I have to think, what times 1 is 2? So in this is my thought process. It's usually over 1, up 1. So my multiplier, 1 times 2 is 2. And then it's usually over 1, up 3 from the previous objective. But in this case, 3 times 2 is 6. And so my given parabola that I have, the step pattern is down 2, down 6, instead of down 1, down 3, or up. So down 2, down 6. 1 times 2 is 2, and 3 times 2 is 6. So my multiplier is 2. I'm multiplying every output by 2 within this function. And it's negative because it's opening downward. All right, so again, I found the vertex. I've determined my step pattern by saying over 1, down 2, over 1, down 6. And because it's 2 and 6, that means the multiplier of the A is 2, because 2 times 1 is 2, and then 2 times 3 is 6, based off the original step pattern. And it's negative because it's going down. Now I have to put it all together in my step 3. My final step is the actual equation. So I have y equals negative 2, right? I'm replacing my A from up here with my A that I found. It's negative 2 times x. X will never change. It's always there. Now it's opposite the h value, or opposite the x value of the vertex. The x value was positive in the vertex, so it has to be minus 4 in my equation. Remember, the x value is lying to you. So close the parenthesis, put a square. And then my k value is positive 3, so I put plus 3. And I am done. I have found my equation. Go ahead and pause the video and try the next one on your own to check your understanding. Pause the video to try number 2 on your own. I found the vertex initially, and that's -2, 1. My second step down here was to identify the step pattern. So in this case, it's going over 1, down 1, over 1, down 3. So there is no multiplier of numbers, right? It matches the original step pattern of over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3, except for it's going down. So because it's going down, my A term has to be a -1, right? There's no change in the numbers that they're moving. They're not going up 2, up 6, or down 2, down 6, but it is going down, so it has to be a -1. And then finally, my whole equation, y equals -1 times x. The other thing, again, the x term is always lying to you. So if it's -2 in the vertex, it has to be x plus 2 in the formula. So -1 times x plus 2 squared plus 1. K term is telling the truth, the y term. And I am done. So if you got that for number 2, you are free to move on and try the 8 problems on your own. Your goal should be, where did it go? I gave you a goal of getting 8 out of 8 for mastery. This is a pretty straightforward objective. If you didn't get that for your answer, please raise your hand and ask me or check with the neighbor to see where you might have gone wrong. Also, I didn't do anything with these. Thank you for watching.